Welcome back to another episode of Cats Out the Bag. I'm Kat, as you know, and this is Kity Reynolds.
Yes.
Introduce yourself.
Hello.
Welcome to the pod.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kitty. I'm happy to be here. I'm another cat that's coming out the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just rolling with people with the same names. I have 4 friends named Lauren. Now I got a girl named Kitty.
You can never have enough Laurens. I got a lot of Laurens, too.
Do you?
They're good people.
How many do you got?
Oh, God. I've known so many in my lifetime. Right now, I probably got 2 Laurens.
Wow.
That's pretty low for me, you know?
You're usually up there in the
Yeah,
Laurens.
I feel like I always got a lot of Megans, a lot of Laurens, a lot of Emilys.
Megans.
Okay.
Do we know anyone named Megan? I got a cousin named Megan. She's not doing good.
That's where I was headed with that.
I don't know where she's at, but shout out to you, Meg.
We love you, Meg.
Yeah, we're thinking of you, girl, wherever you are. So you're Catherine with the C.
Yeah.
Were you straight out the gate Cat, or were you ever a Kathy?
So my mom is Kathy. So they didn't want to name me Catherine. My mom didn't want another Catherine. She was like, that's me. Let's not fuck it up. And my dad was like, I like the name. And my grandma's Catherine too. So my dad was like, let's have another Catherine. So they were like, all right, but it can't be fucking Kathy. And so they were like, all right, let's do Cat. And then that just never stuck. Like, it just always became Kit Kat, Kitty Cat, like the bullshit, the fun stuff. Probably the same shit with you. Yeah. And then I was Kitty for, like, my early childhood years, always Kitty. And then when I got to school, I had a teacher who was like, oh, what do you want to be called? And I was like, Kit Kat, because I was, like, 7 years fucking old. I'm like, Kit Kat. And she's like, that's too casual for school. So I was like, okay, I don't know what that means.
She was like,
but
fuck Kit Kats.
Yeah, so I was just Catherine again, which I didn't even know who that person was. You know, I was like, okay, my other like name. And then I was line leader one day the year after, and I was still going by Catherine. But also, this is at the time, because we're probably like the same age, right?
How old are you?
I'm 28.
I'm older.
Similar?
30.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so there was tons of Catherines, So like, I'm line leader one day, and she's like, Catherine, go to the next stop. She's like, wait, that's too long. What do you want to be called? And I was like, Cat, thinking this is my moment to rebrand. And like, there's all these Catherines, but this is like a sleek name. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do Cat. And Catherine with a C, that makes more sense. And then she heard me wrong, thought I said Kit. And then I was Kit from then on out. Like, all my name tags were Kit. Like, I'm Kit R. That was like my name.
KITR.
KIT, yeah. Kit R. So I was like, all right, I guess I'm Kit. So then I went through all of school being Kit, and then at home I was Kitty. And then when I started comedy, I know it's such bullshit. And then I was like, okay, I guess we can have like a fusion here. And now some people call me Kitty, some Kit. Doesn't really fucking matter.
Weirdly enough, I had a group of people that used to call me Kit.
Really?
Kit, just Kit. When I get drunk, I turn British. So I'll be in the bar and I'll be like, my name's Kit. Buy me a shot, you bloke.
I love that it's your British alter ego is Kit.
Oh yeah. I'd go deep into Kit's past too. She's like an old poker player.
Oh, so she's kind of, she's like,
she's dark.
She's weathered.
Yeah.
She's had a life.
If you like looked into a dirty bar, you'd like find her in the back like smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, she like fucked one of the Beatles.
Yeah.
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 She's had a life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I like Kit. Okay, we could party with Kit one day.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kit gets down. Cat. I was Catherine, grandmother Catherine with a C. They didn't want C, so they're like, we need to rebrand her, this new baby Jesus. And we need to make her a little different than Catherine. She was an old head. So they hit me with a K. And then they went with Katie originally. Then my family calls me KK.
Okay.
So it was KK for a couple of years. Then people just started calling me Cat. Now it's to the point where like people are buying me like 40 cat mugs a year. But I don't even really like cats.
Right. It's just like.
So it's like Kate. My boyfriend's family, they all call me Kate. I fucking hate it. I hate the word Kate so much.
Yeah.
And like, it's just like.
It's a whole different personality, Kate.
Oh my God.
That's not us.
No.
We're the edgy Catherines.
Yeah.
Because I think the Kates and the Katies are like the. Catherines, and then the kids.
I'm Katie at work.
How do you feel about that?
I'm Katie at work. Some people started calling me Kat at work, and I was like, you don't know that side of me. You call me Katie at work. Kat, when she leaves these doors, is like smoking a blunt on the way home.
Yeah, corporate Katie.
Corporate Katie will draw your blood. Kat might stab you. Things get weird.
I was Kit at work for a long time, and then I just forgot to change my resume to Kitty, or from Kitty, because I had it for like comedy as Kitty, and so now I'm Kitty at work, and it feels weird because I was corporate Kit, you know?
Yeah.
And now they're finding out my real self, and that's not cool.
Well, you're on the gram.
Yeah, but they don't know that I do all the crazy, if they really knew or they watched my videos, they wouldn't trust me.
Yeah.
You know? I know they're not looking at it.
Definitely not.
I told them, I was like, I had a wig behind me on a Zoom call, and she was like, every time you turn, when the blur gives out, I see that you have a wig there. And I was like, oh, Anna, you have no idea.
Yeah.
I was like, if you looked me up.
Anna probably thinks you're a prostitute now.
Yeah, she is. And I don't know, because people in the tri-state area, I guess with my videos, it's because it's Italian-based. It's all, New York-y kind of, New Jersey, New York. And so I don't think the West Coast has had any exposure to the Italian video. So I think, and they work on the West Coast. So I think I'm in the clear.
I don't know. Oh, then maybe.
You know what I mean? I think they'll never.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll reach their feeds.
If you do an LA personality one, that might go. They're gonna be like, "Holy shit, that's Kid."
Oh my god. and do I want to do that? That would be sick.
You could.
You know.
You could do it based on Jenny.
Myself. But you couldn't. Why would you fire someone? You know, would you really fire someone after seeing just a goofy?
Yeah.
Would you?
I get a little nervous because I don't know if you've seen any of my clips. My weekly show is vulgar as fuck. So we teach. The other day we did a clip where I was teaching somebody how to finger someone. So I'm waiting. I just had my manager on here. I was like, Ariane, listen, don't watch the regular pods. Don't spread them around.
Don't ruin this relationship.
Yeah, don't spread it around because then they're gonna be like, oh, that's Kat.
Yeah.
Because they get a little crazy.
Right.
The Kat is actually
they know
out of the
Katie.
bag.
They don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just know corporate Katie. Dude, isn't that so weird how you put on a whole nother personality
For your job.
Yeah, it's so bizarre.
Yeah.
But you can't not.
No.
Else you don't get a job.
Yeah.
Right?
You could just be homeless, I guess.
Yeah. I can't vape on a Zoom call.
Oh.
You know?
I feel like I would, under the table vaping.
Yeah, don't clip this, but I smoke weed. I'll time it so it's exactly 2 hours before a work call, and then I'll be totally fine. So my whole day is just weed math.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just okay, if I smoke at 1:30, I can be on a call at 3. Mm-hmm. That's my life.
Yeah, if I took one hit at 7 a.m., I can't smoke until the next day at 7 a.m.
Oh, really?
Shit, it just goes right through me. I'll get too goofy. I'll be laughing at everything they would say. Meanwhile, back in the day, I used to really smoke weed, and then I just turned into a pussy one day.
Wow, so you were an early smoker?
I was an all-day smoker. And then I started getting paranoid. Now one hit, I'm in the rivers.
So because you started getting paranoid, did you just stop smoking as much, naturally?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm hoping that happens to me.
It might.
Because I've been getting more anxious with it, and I'm hoping I stop smoking as much.
You start overthinking.
Yeah.
What? When you turn 30, you get a fucking bag full of anxiety.
Wow.
Just wait. Just you wait.
Fuck, I'm 2 years off.
I was free as a bird. I could have got stabbed in the chest, and I wouldn't have gave a shit. Now, if I wake up at the wrong time, my levels are off. Oh, I need a pill. That's what happens. It gets you.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I thought it would be the reverse for me because I had anxiety early on in life, and now I'm coming off of it. So I thought that maybe 30 would be chill times ahead. Now I'm nervous that it's going to be less chill times ahead.
You never know. You could get litter as you get older.
That's true. Let's see. Hopefully I do the reverse cat.
Hopefully I start reversing as well.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into some of these topics because we didn't
Okay.
even touch them yet.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have to stop asking you questions.
Oh no, I love
I have
it.
to, okay.
But that's usually what happens here. I'll write these and then we never even look at them
Yeah.
ever. So, so tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, where are you from?
Okay, so I'm from Stony Brook, Long Island. What else about me? I was like a weird, shy little kid, who liked to be, just goofy and crazy. Then I grew up and was kind of like trying to be a cool girl. It was like got attention from the boys kind of thing. Then went to college, got SA'd, unfortunately. And that like that was my breaking point in terms of like what you're saying when you turn 30, when you were like, oh, I could have gotten punched in the chest and I would have been fine. That was me before and after,
Right.
like SA.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like la la la, pretty little skinny, like I'm having fun. And then I was all of a sudden like, fuck my life. What's wrong with me?
Right.
I'm a piece of shit. I hate myself. And so the last like 10 years, because that's when that happened, has just been kind of me working, trying to find myself, having really good friends along the way, good family. But really, I guess I've just been sort of a normal kind of Long Island story, and then like had a decent childhood, everything like that. And then I guess college kind of turned everything on its head. And then I went and lived in DC for a few years, worked there. And then when the pandemic happened, I was like, oh, I want to do comedy. Like, this is not working for me because I lost my job too. So I was like,
Right.
oh, if I have nothing. Oh, and this is the other thing. I didn't get paid by unemployment for 10 months. So
Ooh.
I fell through the cracks. I ended up getting paid like, way later, but it was like this awful thing. So I had zero money, like actually nothing. And it kind of like ruined my brain because I was like, or it was a good thing, but a bad thing. But I was like, okay, if I truly have nothing like I have now, and all I want to do is make people laugh, and like I actually have clarity then, like, okay, if I can live that life where I'll never have a cent ever again and I'm doing this, I'll be really happy.
Right.
So it actually gave me clarity immediately. And I was like, all right, moving to New York, moved to New York, and, family's here too. So I was like,
Yeah.
I wanted to come back anyway eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, let's go. Let's just do fucking open mics and like, let's just change our lives here. And so then I just kind of fucking did it. And then recently is when I was like, okay, I have to be doing social media. Like
Yeah.
I have to be posting shit. But like you, like my stuff is really dirty. So I'm like, ugh, I don't want like, it's more like my family and like my boyfriend's family. I'm like, I don't want them to see like
You have
this
to
other
block
part
them.
of myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, because they know corporate Kit,
Yeah.
they know fucking corporate Katie. They don't know like this bananas part of me that
Right.
truly you would put me in a mental facility if you knew. So I'm like, I can't expose this part of me.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but that's all I want in this life is to get jobs based on that personality, not like the fake one that I've been building,
Mhm.
to please everyone else. So then this summer I was like, all right, let's just do some bullshit. Like I was like, let's not post things.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not going to post what I think people will like. I'm not going to ask people what they think of it. I'm just going to fucking do it. And if people unfollow me, okay. Like, I don't want followers anyway.
Right.
Like, that's never been the point of this. I want a job out of it. It's like, I just want a comedy job. So, like, I don't give a fuck. And then, so over the past, like, 6 months is when I guess I've been doing more content creation for the followers at home. So that's been kind of my, like, story arc, I guess you
Yeah.
could say. So now I'm kind of trying to, just keep doing stand-up and content, and we'll, like, kind of see what happens.
How did you do on your first like stand up? Well, actually, before you answer
Yeah.
that, what did your family think when you told them you wanted to come home to New York to do comedy?
Okay, so I guess I'll start with the first. So when I decided I wanted to do comedy, I was like, okay, let me start posting funny videos. Like before I even moved, I was like, let me just like be funnier on social media to kind of see if I'm even good at it. And my mom, I smoked a fake joint in a video. I was doing an impression of Pluto as a planet.
Mm-hmm.
And I was being kind of this like drunk, kind of like fake, like rich kind of like planet who's just like, everyone's forgotten about me. You know, it's like, why aren't, like, you know? And then my mom was like, what is wrong with you? Like, have you gotten a lobotomy? Like, you know, she was just like, what the fuck has happened to your brain? And I was like, you don't get it. I was like, I'm going for a little bit more like Tina Fey than Rachel
Right.
Maddow here. Like, we're making a little bit of a transition.
Yeah.
Because I was always
I'm going
in,
dark.
like, yeah, and I was always like in writing and stuff. So but like political, because I was in DC. And then she was like, oh, so we're just changing everything here. Like, you're not mentally ill. You're like actually yourself for the first time.
Yeah.
And so I just, then a few months later, when I was like, I'm going to move to New York, it was like less of a shock. Because I was like, I'm going to be doing comedy or comedy writing, like something like that. So then that was normal and fine. And also I was like coming home a little bit. So they were like, oh, okay, like you're going to be back. Like, so it was a little bit of a homecoming. And the pain was a little bit earlier when I started to just make content.
Right.
I think that's also the scariest part is like, you know, you probably feel like that with, you know, I don't know how,
Everything.
yeah, like people from high school, family, like I just don't know what they think. And that's
Right.
the biggest part of it is like, what does my high school sweetheart think of like what I'm, you know, it's like, but I can't worry about it.
No, you can't think about it.
They'll think I'm mentally ill and we'll just move forward. Like, I think that's where we're at.
That's the only thing you can do. I just got
Yeah.
a Christmas card the other day in the mail from my grandpa, and if you met him, he's very like. Shout out to you, Grandpa, because now he's found it. He was able to find it, and he's an old head. So I was like,
Oh,
I was
no.
worried because I'll post like the non-crazy ones on Facebook and stuff,
Mhm.
so like people think like I'm kind of normal.
Yeah.
And somehow he got into the actual Instagram part of it all. So he sent me a Christmas card. He was like, Merry Christmas. He was like, just got into cat out the bag. He was like, very good, but your mouth is horrible. So he saw me on Christmas and he was like, the stuff you're saying about pussy this, pussy that, and all of the shit like that. He was like, I don't even know. Like, literally, I want to know who raised you. But, like, if you knew who raised me, like, my dad talks like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, my parents are very funny people also, but I just have a dark sense of humor for some
Yeah.
reason. I don't know.
Yeah, or we just have that like, or because we're younger, we give a little less fucks. Where we
Yeah.
like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Long Islanders hate the dirty stuff.
they hate it.
They hate it.
Oh, my God.
My family members are like, oh, you know, I like Jim Gaffigan because he's clean.
Yeah.
You're dirty.
You're
They don't like
dirty.
it. Yeah.
No,
And I'm like, sorry guys, like,
this is what the people want.
this is who I am. Yeah, I hate to break it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
You drop the P word around like an auntie, like
Oh
an Aunt
my
Bootsy.
God.
They
They
get
hate
scared. They
it.
start getting nervous.
Yeah.
I remember I posted my first like dirtier clip on there, and it just happened to be like me and my friend talking, and all of my cousins were hitting me up, and they're like, "So you got a sex podcast now? That's what you got going? It's a sex ring you're running." Little do they know what we got going upstairs. But I was like, no, I was like, you just caught us on a dirtier day. And then for a second, I got like insecure almost about the podcast turning that way. And then I was like, fuck this. I don't give a
Right.
fuck. I want views. I want to like do this.
Right. And also then you flip it and you're like, well, I like podcasts that sometimes do dirty stuff.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't bother me when I'm the listener. So
Yeah.
why am I hating myself sometimes for doing it? Like just because fucking I'm judging what I think my family thinks of this.
Right.
Like it's so dumb.
I don't want to listen to shit about like Susie falling off of her bike. I want to know what
Right.
Susie's doing behind the fucking closed doors.
Right. Also, isn't that the benefit of a fucking podcast is hearing the stuff you wouldn't hear on the fucking radio?
Right.
Like, right? Damn. Sorry, I'm not even being funny today.
That's all right.
I'm in like a thinking mood because I'm getting my period, you know?
Yeah. The
Getting
wheels
my
are
feels.
turning.
Yeah.
The wheels are turning. So do you feel like, since you said you brought up the SA,
Mm.
do you feel like you tried to use your comedy as an outlet
Oh, totally.
in the beginning?
Yeah, for sure. Because I think I just still have so many strong feelings about how men make rape jokes a lot of the time. And it really pisses me off that men can make rape jokes and just kind of like, I have to say essay for TikTok just in case. But when men make essay jokes and get away with it, I get so pissed because I'm like, no, that's not your fucking joke. And the only reason you get to say these jokes is because we haven't been here yet.
Right.
And like race jokes, okay, now that there are more black comics, that's their jokes. Like you guys don't get to use that anymore. That's their material. Like, or in any sense of like anything, you know, now that there are more comedians in comedy, like that's just not your shit.
Right.
Like it's not like white guys now don't have all the material. Like, so I was like, if anyone's going to make the fucking rape jokes, it's going to be your girl. You know what I mean? I was
It's
like,
going to be the rape.
I got territorial. Yeah. And I was like, I want to change the way we talk about it. And also, I was struggling to find like pieces of media, like when it happened to me, of like just women casually on the internet, like talking about it, or like there was just no media around it. Like there were books and there were like textbooks and there were like psychology websites, but there was no one that was like, this happened to me and I've been living with it, or like whatever. It was just like a blank void. So I'm like, okay, I would love it if, you know, if in 10 years I'm good enough to make a perfect essay joke that could somehow reach whatever college girl is in whatever dorm who happens to be watching a Netflix special with her friend. She has no idea what it's on. And then one joke gives her the peace maybe she needs of like, oh my God, like I'll live after this. Like I'll keep going. Yeah, like I'll be able to like kind of do something with my life and kind of get over this. Like that is my dream. Like, and that's also why I think I'm a little bit more chill than some other comics, because I'm like, I'm not looking for followers, dog. Like I'm looking for like to change little girls' lives. Like my missions are like, okay, speak to SA victims and then teach little girls that you never have to grow up. Because that's another thing I feel like with, I mean, we all have this experience of like, you're a little kid and you're playing in the pool, and then the dads are playing in the pool, but the moms aren't. Like for some reason, the moms are sitting out gabbing, and like that's just not what they do anymore. And it's like, why? Like why do we stop getting to be the fun ones? Like that's why shit like this is so great, because it's like, no, we don't have to be like, yeah, let's just never grow up. Let's stay filthy and disgusting and unhinged and like funny. And that's, you know, that's my kind of, sorry to get so like fucking woo woo today, but yeah, it's just like, it gives me chills. Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting deep, but that's the stuff that gets me going.
Me and her were just talking about this the other day, actually, and this other girl that I had on here. We were talking about till fucking like for years, like moms they always have to buy their own Christmas gifts.
Oh my God.
They never get a fucking stocking.
Oh, never.
They have to do all the work. Like in some households, I'm not going to knock on like every man out there, but a lot of the households I know around here, the mothers their knuckles are bleeding. Right.
And like no one. Even when the partner helps out, you know, it feels like even when the partner's present, it feels like the mom is still the admin, like still the office manager. You know,
and I agree with everything you said. Yeah, 100%. Shout out to the
shout out moms.
Shout out mom.
Shout out mom. Love you, Kath.
Yeah, love you, Joni. I'm gonna name my daughter, if I ever have one, after my mother too.
You gonna name her Joan?
Yeah, Joni.
Oh, Jody with a D.
Joni.
Oh, that's her actual name with an I. Oh,
she's Joan, but I can't go full Joan.
That's so funny because I plan to name my daughter Joan. I'm not fucking with you. I'm not fucking kidding you, because I love Joan Didion, and I think all strong, like there's a lot of strong Joans. Like it's a strong name.
It's
Joan Rivers, Joan of Arc, like, and then my boyfriend's mom's name is Joan.
Did we just have a Step Brothers moment?
I think we just became best friends. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers to all the pussies in the world.
Shout out.
So, when you started, hold on, I have a couple of questions now that we could really get into it because you just brought all that up.
Okay. I'm excited.
So, do you feel like you're getting enough opportunities in the comedian world or the comic world,
Yeah, I do think I am. I feel
like compared to a man?
that's a good question. I actually do think so. I think in the beginning, it was really weird because people look at the women like they just, not that you're not like funny, they just have a bitterness
Mhm.
because women do get more spots because there are less of us. Like there is a little bit of an affirmative action that benefits you in the beginning before people have pinned you down. If you're funny or not, like you'll get that just like the benefit of the doubt, let's say, because they just need a woman on the show.
Right.
So like I got booked pretty easily in the beginning. And also in the pandemic, there were even less women. So it was like, okay, I'm getting more spots than I think I would have.
Mm-hmm.
But that said, there's definitely a fucking attitude that I
Yeah.
deal with all the time of just like this chip on the shoulder, bitterness, white guy being like, I'm doing this 10 years and this fucking little fucking broad.
comedy. You don't know
Right.
shit.
Right. Meanwhile, he's going on stage with the cringiest jokes you've ever heard in your
Mhm.
life, painful to get through.
Using the same shit from the 90s.
Right. And he just thinks, just because he's been doing it X years, he's like good enough. And you're like, okay, you're not fucking funny. Like, I don't know what to tell you. This is a meritocracy, babe. Like,
Right.
get a fucking book. Like, read a book or get out. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
So that pisses me off. But I honestly think more than anything else, it's just like even women in comedy, the personalities are so insufferable because you think it's like, oh, this is all the cool, funny kids. This is all the class clowns from
Mhm.
high school. No, like half of people are like that. And the other half are like the tryhards who want to be the class clown.
Right.
And they're doing their homework and they're like, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, dude, you're making this a not nice place to be.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be the fun career
You're
where
actually
we get
nasty.
to goof off. And yeah, and you're literally nasty. Like, I had this girl who was like my friend, and I liked her. And she's another comic. And I was on stage doing a joke about eating ass, which is now one of my favorite jokes. It grew beautifully. I love doing it. And I'm literally telling the joke, and in the back of the room, I hear her go, Jesus. And I was like,
I
oh
would've been
my
like,
God.
do you not eat ass?
Right. I was like, oh my God. I was like, okay, well, first off, I'm going to off myself now. But
Yeah.
two, like, I thought you were my friend. Like, I would never, like, heckle my friend. Like, it was just bizarre. And then I got off the stage and I was like, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry if that was, like, loud. And I was like, sorry, it was loud. How about, like, I just found out what you think of my comedy. Like,
Right.
you think it's so filthy that, like, Jesus, like, you want to be seen by the people you're sitting with. That's how filthy this is.
Right.
That you need to be seen by these other guys going that you don't approve of it. You need to
Yeah.
be seen doing that. And I was just so skeeved out. And I was just like, okay, first of all, yeah, it was a dirty joke. But one, it's a new joke. So shut your fucking mouth. And there's 10 people here. So who fucking cares? I'm going to talk about it. Oh, and this was the other thing. I was telling her about my anal skin tag. I was telling the crowd about my anal skin tag, which is extremely ridiculous and dirty to talk about. But, like, shut the fuck up. You're my friend.
More common than you think.
Right. And that's why I was saying it on stage. Because
I've had a couple
everyone...
of tags my day.
Thank you. Everyone's got fucking Hemis. Everyone's popping some Hemis. Everyone's popping some fissures. So, like, let's get it out there. We need to be talking about these things. So I was pissed. And then I actually told her the next day, I was like, dude, look, like, that was, like, really painful. Like, you just kind of insulted me. And I don't know if it was on purpose or what. And she was just like, I'm really sorry. Like, I didn't mean it like that. I'm so glad that you're telling me because we can solve this. But, like, I don't trust her as far as I can throw her now. Like, I don't. So you kind of find things out about people really quickly. And then, because everyone is so, like, like the best version of themselves. And then you'll, like, hang out another time. And you're like, oh, you're fucking out of your mind.
Yeah.
Which, like, myself included, for sure. But, like, I'd like to think that I'm self-aware about it.
Right.
Like, I'm like, oh, I know, like, I do this. I know that I can be, like, spacey or whatever. And I like to just say that outright so people don't think I'm being a dick. But it's just a lot of personalities,
Right.
I guess is the point. And the men, obviously, are so much worse. But they're still just a bizarre island of misfit toys,
Yeah.
you know?
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Because even in this, like, podcasting shit, I feel like just because you do something differently than, like, what other people do, they'll be like, well, I don't do it that way.
Right.
So, but you don't.
Right. It's like, fuck off.
Good for you. One of us is going to make it, one of us isn't.
Right. Also, it's like, why do you think whatever you're doing, like, why do you think I want advice from you?
Right.
Like, what about you makes you think that, like, I need that
Mm-hmm.
from you? I have Google.
Do the men get paid more?
I would venture to say yes because they probably ask more. Because I think it's still kind of the whole, like, we don't negotiate aggressively enough kind of problem. But, yeah, probably. I also just think that, yeah, I think we don't ask for enough. I think that's probably it. Or at least I don't. Maybe there are more aggressive women who are better at it, but, like, I'm young. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't been in this industry very long. Like, I also don't feel, like, entitled enough to be aggressive about it. It's like, okay, I'm a woman and I have to be fighting for myself, but I'm also fucking 28 years old. And I've been doing it for a few years, and I'll be like, yeah, well, I have 50,000 followers. You got to pay me that. Like,
Right.
I'm not an asshole. It's like, and also, I don't really care about money in a really unhealthy and crazy way. I'm very disassociated from money. Like, I will spend like a drunken sailor if I need to, and I will feel nothing. Or I could, like, it means nothing to me. It's really weird. I think it happened in the pandemic when I was unemployed. I think I just shut off all feeling for it. So, like, if I have a gig, I don't even think to ask, like, if I'm getting paid. Only in the last, like, 6 months have I been, like, for Long Island shows or, like, Connecticut shows, I'm like, okay, is this a paid spot? Because, like, I'm not going to take the train,
Right.
like, you know, for 2 hours if it's nothing. But that's it. That's the most, like, I've gotten. Or if it's someone who's an asshole and I don't feel bad and they're kind of an idiot, I'll kind of, like, test on them. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, all right, pay me $100. Let's see, you know? And I'm like, all right, let's kind of, like, gamify this. Because it's like, I'm smart enough to know that I should be asking for something, but still too polite to, like, do it. You know? So I don't know.
Which one, when you started, like, switching over to social media, you said that was in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
When did you start realizing your videos were going viral? Because you went viral on a couple of videos.
Yeah, it was the Brooklyn video took off in, I want to say May or June. I don't know. I want to say June. And that was, like, quick to see. I was like, oh, this is getting more than I've ever gotten on Instagram.
Because you went,
like,
to the millions.
Yeah. But then TikTok, I had gone on viral on TikTok before for a Julia Fox impression, but that was, like, years ago, and I never capitalized on it. Like, I got 2 million views, and I just kind of, like, I got so... the trolls really got to me, and I just, like, I didn't post for 3 months. I went dark. I was like, fuck this. This is, like, so... People were just so mean, and I was like, all right, I'm never posting again. And then I was like, okay, if I do this, like, the Brooklyn video, which was just an idea, like, I literally woke up in the morning, and I woke my boyfriend up, and I was like, you have to film for me. Like, he's asleep, and I was like, I have this idea where I'm a Brooklyn person. Like, you need to film for me today. And he's like, what the fuck are you saying? Like, his eyes are opening. Like, that's how that video happened. And then when it went, like, on Instagram, when it started popping off, I was like, oh. When it got past, like, 200K, I was like, okay, this is, like, definitely, yeah. And it was coming off of a post. Okay, because, sorry, I'm being so annoying today. I'm being so, like, I'm not making any sense, I feel. But right before that, I had a video go a little bit viral, like 300K maybe, like a month before. So I was like, okay, let me not do what I did with the Julia Fox video. Let me capitalize on it. So I just started posting, like, more consistently, but it was kind of bullshit and, like, not very funny and, like, just not very good production. I was like, let me just get stuff out there. That feels like my voice. And then the Brooklyn video happened. And then when that got, like, probably over 200, 300, I was like, okay, this is serious. And like, it got such good feedback that I was like, oh, I'll just do one like it. Like, it doesn't have to be good. I'll just do another one like it. And that's when the Italian video came. And the funniest shit is I was at dinner with my friend, and she's like, I'm like, oh, I did this one today. And she's like, how much do you want on it? Like, I was like, oh, I just want over 1,000 views. That's it. Just 1,000 views. That, because under 1,000 views is embarrassing, but 1,000's fine. 4 fucking million.
Yeah.
So that was like definitely the moment when I was like, oh. And then I have people texting me from that I haven't talked to in years being like, my mom sent me your video, or like, I saw it here. Like, that's when I was like, okay, something's different now. But it's not like it changed like anything in my life. So it's so weird. It was just like, I just got a few more kind of like pats on the back, and like I felt really good how like that people knew who I was, because like for the first time I was like, oh, they get me. Like stand up was like, okay, they get me, like I'm being kind of funny. But with the skits, I was like, oh, they get that I'm a goofball. Like, they get that I'm out of my fucking mind, and I just want to play and make these dumb fucking videos all day. Like, this is just about being weird and funny and not about followers. And I think that people saw that. Because, you know, I think also when you look kind of like a normie and you're just kind of like straight cis white girl, it's very like, you know, what do you have to offer us?
What are you funny
about?
about?
Like, what is interesting about you, you know? So I was excited that they could finally see how deranged I am.
Right.
And they're like, okay, this is someone who's like truly has something comedic about them. Hopefully that's what they thought.
Well, the one you did with the rent prices in New York City when they spray you with the water, that's deranged as it gets.
It was so deranged. And it was like, you know, I was hanging out with my friend who like, we were just,
What did they even spray you with, a hose?
Yeah, my boyfriend sprayed me with a hose, and it was so cold out. It was freezing. Okay, you know Doechii, the rapper?
Yeah.
She liked one of my videos. So that was cool. But then followers, like some comedians that I really like have followed me, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. But like, no one's like, you know, no one huge. But like, I think, yeah, Doechii liking it, I was like, okay, I feel different.
Right.
And then like, people have started, like on the street, people will ask me for photos.
I was gonna ask you that. That's one of my questions. Are they starting to like stop you in the street? Because you're easy to notice. Like you're I would think you would have to go out with a disguise. You're a noticeable person.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like I thought, oh my God, because I know people with 50,000 followers that like are normal people. So I was like, oh, 50K, like I'm good. I think because like it's so
not
tri-state
the 50K,
area.
it's the 4 mil.
Right, it's the views of that from our area, because like I think it's just reached so many people. So like, yeah, like people on the street will be like, can I have a picture? Or like this girl screamed out of her car. Like I was like standing to cross the street, and she was like, I love your videos. And I was like, okay, that was kind of fun. That was kind of cool. But the funniest shit that just happened to me the other day. So like, not that I'm feeling like a hot shot, but a few people now have like stopped me. So I'm like, okay, like this is a trend. I go to visit my nana at the hospital the other day, and this guy is staring at me, like burning a hole, and I'm in the elevator with my dad, to the point where like both me and my dad like have to look up at the guy. Like it's so weird, you know, like we're in an elevator and he's just like this. And so I look up, I'm like, hey. And he's like, I know you from somewhere. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe you follow me on social media. And he goes, that's definitely not it. And I was like, whole body bag. I was like, okay, fuck me. Even though that's definitely it. Like, he doesn't realize that, like, whatever brief second his cousin showed him the video, that his brain clocked me, like, he'll never understand it. But also how fucked up of me to be like, oh, yeah, you know me from social. And then he was like, that's not it. And I was like,
fuck you.
I was like, all right, I'm never going to fucking do that again. Like, I'll never assume. But yeah, it's like, I think you're right. I think it's the 4 mil, because it doesn't make sense that 50 would create that.
Because Instagram now targets your space of where it's viewed. So like I can switch it from Long Island. I used to have it on Long Island. Now I switched it to New York because I started getting people. Like I go to Suffolk, so I was in class like my first day of school, and I went to the bathroom, and the kids started laughing, and I came back, and and my lab partner I like knew from a prior like class, and she was like, these kids just said like you're doing videos online. And then I was like, porn? And then she was like no, something about farts. And then I was like, oh shit. And then the guy told me like, we all saw your podcast clips from the fart, because it got like a couple views. but the target was Suffolk, Long Island. So all the people at Suffolk, because they were in that targeted area, all of them saw the clip that I happened to post
Right.
under Long Island. Because I tried the county. Never doing the county
Yeah.
again. Now these kids are like, look at her. Look at the yoga ball farter.
The
Yeah.
sharks are all over you.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck? They're showing it to the teacher. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, maybe I'll change my location so that. But I don't want to change it, you know, because it
No,
is for the
it's
New
cool.
Yorkers,
Yeah,
you know,
it's
like
cool.
it's for our peeps.
It definitely is.
Yeah. Damn.
So once you started really like popping off, because I saw you did like a couple of the Italian videos now.
Yeah.
Are any of these pulled from someone you actually know? Like these personalities?
It's pretty much all my grandma. So I actually really was pissed at myself after the video because I was like, oh my God, I'm going to wake the dead. Like my grandma is going to be so pissed at me for doing this. But then I was like, but also it's a gruffer version of her.
It's also a good tribute to her.
Exactly. I was like, no, I'm actually keeping her alive. Like this is actually a cool thing that I'm doing.
The arm adjustments you do in the like when you're doing the meatballs is literally like another Italian woman I know. Like the way you're like, they always like put their arms back. I have sweat stains, so I
Right?
can't pull this jacket off, or like people might think I'm weird. But like the way you're doing this, it's spot on. It's spot on.
Thank you for saying that because like I really like I get so into character. You know, like I go
You're
full
in the character.
and because it is also like a piece of me too. You know,
Right.
it's like my most like Guido piece of me, but it really is my grandma. Except she was like a sweeter version of this character. This character is like the most, I guess, outrageous version that I wanted it to be because she didn't really like curse or anything. Like she was very like prim. This character is a little trashier
Yeah.
and kind of like angrier, I would say. But it's her like the deeper, the going Catherine, like that was
Yeah.
her, you know, Katharina, like that.
I want to
the
know
getting
who raised
stuck.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that because she was a 30-year smoker, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I
My
just loved doing
grandmother
her.
quit smoking and she still has the rasp.
Yeah,
Yeah, you would think she's still lighting up.
right. I think that's why all of our grandparents sound the same, right? It has to
Yeah.
be the smoking.
Oh, it has to be.
Yeah, because it's not just an Italian thing, you know.
No.
It's got to be the smoking.
She's Irish and you would think she's still smoking a pack a day.
right.
Yeah. What? She might be on the low. She's definitely pulling joints.
Damn,
But,
good for her.
yeah, she's living life on the edge. I asked you, one of the questions she actually wrote on here was, do you need security?
Honestly, that's a really interesting question because I do get some fucking crazy. But this has always been a part of my life is I think because I'm a very kind of like approachable person, I do attract the crazies. Like in DC, I one time had, before Lyft and Uber like protected your number, I had a driver who I had to block and like almost got a restraining order from because it was so many calls. Like he would call me 40 to something times a day. So like that's always been, I've always attracted a stalker like person. I don't know why. Currently I have a stalker. She's harmless though.
She's a she.
Yeah. She's harmless though. I'll tell you guys more tea about her after, but I don't want to offend her because she has some like special needs kinds of stuff.
Right.
So, but that is at play. And then some people on Instagram really fucking freak me out.
Yeah.
Like this guy sent me 10 reasons we should get married, and it was like a very comprehensive list. Like a very, you know what I mean? Like I was like, oh, this is numbered. This is
yeah.
space,
You're
enter,
thinking
enter.
this out.
Yeah, like it was nutty. So sometimes that stuff happens. I'm like, okay, this is getting a little, And then honestly, usually I feel fine. Like I'm very careful in my videos to not really show where I live. Like I think it's clear I'm in Queens or like Astoria, but Astoria is luckily not like New York where it's like so recognizable. Like
Right.
it's still kind
It
of
all looks the same.
yeah, like it looks like Brooklyn, it looks like anything, so I'm okay. But sometimes when I'm outside my house, I'm like, I should be a little careful.
Yeah.
Like, I'm raking the leaves and stuff, and I'm like, anyone could kind of drive by and kind of clock me.
And scoop you up.
Right. So I'm like, I gotta be kind of fucking careful. So I think, no, I don't think I need security, but I do think I need to be like fucking careful. Like, I think I need to be really
aware.
careful. Yeah. Like, like I think, I've been really like slow with fucking stories on Instagram and stuff. And like, cause I'm like, people really can track you so fucking fast. And with Long Island and New York, like things are so recognizable for the most part that like you really could probably find, if I did a story, let's say on my way and be like, on my way to Cats Out the Bag, I think in 10 minutes you could easily click the pod, find that it, you know, in quorum somewhere.
Mhm.
Oh, I just clipped that up. Oh no.
Now they know.
Oh God. But you know what I mean? Like I think you really could do it. So I just have to be not a space cadet.
Yeah.
Because I really like, and sorry I'm taking years to answer this, but I also am just a fucking idiot. Like in my daily life when I'm on the subway, like I've forgotten to get off the subway. Like I've been on there and gotten locked on. Cause I'm a fucking idiot. Like I swear to God, I had my AirPods in. I got up to like Harlem. I didn't hear the announcement of like gotta switch over. So I'm just listening. I'm fucking I'm on the train. I'm like, and then I'm like, wait a minute. It's been a few minutes and we haven't moved. And then I'm like, wait a minute. No one's on here with me. And then I get up and I'm like, no one's on the other car either. And why are the doors closed?
Help!
Oh my God. And I literally, no one's walking by in this station because it was like a small station. Finally, a woman walks by. I'm banging on the door. I'm like, help, help. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like, you know, I'm talking through the door. I'm like, I'm an idiot. I'm listening to music. I didn't hear them. She's like, okay. She like goes away. I'm standing in there. I'm just like waiting. She has to go get the cops. The cops go get the metro people. The metro woman lets me out. I'm like, wow, I am so fucking dumb. You know, to get trapped on a train,
Right.
you have to be really fucking dumb. Because where was I going to go? Where do they put that train? Does that go to the Bronx? Like, where do the trains go to sleep?
I don't know.
I don't know.
We need to call Thomas and Friends.
But yeah, that's how fucking dumb I am. So, to your point, I don't need security. I need better common sense.
Right.
Yeah. I need to be on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're little. They could scoop you up.
Right? I'm very kidnappable.
Yeah.
I've always said this. You could just easily, because I'm like, I'm just like a fucking idiot. You could easily just pick me up and just go.
Yep.
One time okay. Again, this is the answer that never ends, but one time in college, I literally was walking home from the bar, not like blackout, but pretty drunk. It was snowing. I had a tank top on and in heels, right? This is 2013 or 14. And I'm walking home. This white pickup truck stops and they go, "You're hot. Do you need a ride?" And I go, "Well, actually, I'm cold." "Yeah, I do." And I go up to the side of the car. And this is also post-essay, like a few months after the essay. So you can imagine I'm like, fucking kill me. I don't care.
Yeah.
So I go up to the car. I go, "Are you going to kidnap me, kill me? What do you want here? Like, what's going on?" And they were like, "No, we just like, you look like you need to get home." And I was like, okay, like I trust you guys. And I got in a pickup truck with two men in the middle. It's like out of a movie. Like the camera would be in front of us and it's 30s or 40s. Like old enough to not get in the fucking white pickup truck with them.
Yeah.
Like old enough that like a 19-year-old girl shouldn't be idiot. I'm literally with Google Maps in the middle of these two heads. Like, just like, yeah, make a right, make a left. They got me home.
I live here and I live alone.
Right. Yeah. Like, oh, well, how nice to have two men take me home because no one lives with me. Like, so insane. The next morning I woke up and I was like, how did I? Oh my fucking God, I shouldn't be alive right now. I'm so kidnappable.
Are you kidding? I'm not kidnappable. Nobody's kidnapping me. But we're in Puerto Rico and we're drunk. And the girl behind the camera, pre-pregnancy, actually, she's like, "Yeah, come on, guys. This is a cab driver." And me and all our friends get in. The guy wasn't a cab driver. So we're all piling. We're listening to him. We're like, "You
Right.
Our one friend spoke Spanish, and then she's like talking to him, and she's like, Melissa, this guy, he's just a regular guy. He's just a regular Juan Carlos. He's not working for Uber. So we have to now get out, and we're like, okay, puppy, like, sorry. Maybe next time.
That's so funny.
But even like when we were younger, I feel like back in the day, we would get in the cars. I remember one time in the Bronx, I got on the back of some guy's quad, and meanwhile, I was drinking like fucking, what's like that hardcore vodka? We were like walking around the subway stations with like a bottle of vodka, and by the time we got to the Bronx, like Washington Heights, actually, I was like blackout, and I was, if you could imagine, even bigger than. So I was just fully sweating too. I remember being like soaking wet. We're walking around, and this guy pulls up. He's like, "Who wants to get on?" And I was like, "I do." I get on. He's popping wheelies with me on the back. Meanwhile, it was just like the craziest night. We were like in people's cars we just met. They're doing like 100 on the LIE now at this point. Things got weird. Like when you're younger, you don't give a fuck.
You don't give a Isn't that the best? Like,
yes.
I wish I could replicate that level of not caredness. Like,
Oh my God.
whose car was I in? You know, like, where was I?
Yeah.
Why was I in that man's basement? Like, how?
Yeah.
You're like, how did I end up on a quad? Like, those are the
Yeah.
beautiful nights that you can never get to
Back.
at this age. Yeah,
No.
because you just
I
wouldn't.
would never.
Right,
Quad? I'm going to break my hip.
right.
Are you kidding? She got her tongue pierced. She got her tongue pierced that night. She was like, "Oh, you went on a quad? I gotta up that somehow. I'm getting my fucking tongue pierced." By a guy in like a back alley that was running a deal for like $15 tongue piercings, and we had like $16 left. And she's like, "I'm using our last 15 to pierce my tongue." And I was like, "Do it, do it for New York." NYC, baby.
That's so. Wait, do you still have the tongue piercing?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's so fucking. That's so class. Also, I feel like the shenanigans of when you're on Long Island coming into the city are so fucking fun.
Oh
like,
my God.
you just enter a different level because you're just like, well, it's a city. Like, we're going to the city.
We're
Like,
going to the Big Apple.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a different level of fucking who cares. You're just
Oh
like,
my
I gotta
God.
make that. Whatever, I'll make the train. Other than that, I don't care what happens to me.
Yeah.
Like, let's just fucking ride it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Those are the best times though. Like we used to just go there and just fucking. We had friends that lived in Queens and shit, and it was just like we didn't give a fuck. Like we
Right.
didn't care at all, and I miss that.
Right, you're just a leaf in the wind.
Yeah.
You're just like, all right, who's
Just
got the
blowing
next
around.
plan?
Just
Whose
blowing
house
around.
party are we going to?
Yeah.
Give me a Four Loko.
Oh, I miss house parties.
Speaking about just flying by night with no money too. Let me
Yeah.
just add to that.
Flying by night with no money is correct. Like literally, like I didn't have a job for years. I didn't have a job for years. I think I was like, at one point I was offering to shovel horse shit from like the penny, what is it called? The penny book?
Oh, yeah.
Penny
Yeah, the
saver.
penny saver.
The penny saver. I was looking, remember that? I was looking for horse gigs. I loved horses when I was a kid. I was like, you know what? If I shovel shit for like 6 days in a row, I could make $100 and then we could go to the city.
Honestly, not a bad job, though. Like,
Still hasn't changed.
No, I'm still looking for extra cash.
listeners, if you have horses in the area, give us
I'll
a
clean
call.
your shit.
Do you have horse shit?
Cool cat.
That's actually a lit job. Imagine you podcasted, like, or in the
From
morning.
the stall.
You have your horses, you like clean up their shit, and then you go do your podcast, and then you get home, you say hi to the horses, but you don't have to clean up the shit, you know, like that was the morning duties, and then you go on a little ride. Like, that'd be a nice life.
Be a beautiful life.
That'd
That would
be
be.
sick.
That's my perfect life.
Is that your ideal?
Hair like blowing in the wind. You just see me riding up on horseback.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You got those little
Bareback.
tan pants on?
Bareback.
Those little. You got the little hat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wearing nothing but what Tarzan wore though. And
Just a little.
just straight bareback, holding onto nothing but the horse's hair. Just riding through the wind.
Nothing but you and your butt muscles.
Yeah. And I barely got him. I got a bad back. I could fall off that horse. I could probably die on a horse at this point, at this age. You put me on a horse, I could be dead.
Oh, no.
And that's all seriousness.
Oh, my God.
Really just not doing good. So what gig is up for you next? Do you have anything out here, or are you going home?
What do I have next? Nah, I got stuff in, I have my show in Queens on every Saturday. So I'll do that this weekend. I don't know if I have anything this week. I think I tried to clear it out to kind of hang out. And then I'm headlining some shows in January in Connecticut. So that'll be a little scary. I think I'm doing 3 headlining shows in January. And it was like, if that goes poorly, you know, that's 40 minutes of wanting to fucking unalive yourself. You know, like, that could be awful. So we'll see.
How big are those ones?
I think one of them should be like 65 plus people. The other 2, I don't know. But we'll see. I'm kind of getting to that point where people are starting to like ask for those longer sets. And I can do those longer sets. It's more like I just get nervous to be kind of like up there for so, you know, like I can do it. It's just like, do I want to? You know, like, do I want to put myself up? It's like, yeah, I fucking want to do it. It'll be fine. But freaks me out a little.
It's got to be nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
How many laughs do you get to not laugh? Does that freak you out? Like, does that kill you when a joke doesn't hit?
That's a good question. It depends, because sometimes you have a crowd that, like, you know, likes you and is like engaged. Like, even if they're not laughing that hard, like maybe they're just like sweet people and they're just are kind of like, like, even if they're not laughing that hard, you can tell if they're like listening and like are like you know?
Yeah.
But sometimes, and like, that's okay. If they're not rolling laughs, but they're listening, I'm like, okay, we can do this. Sometimes you just get this feeling like in the beginning of the set that they just don't get who you are. And it used to happen to me more often than it does now, because I think also now I have at least maybe one person in the crowd who kind of knows who I am already, or like is on board to start laughing. But, you know, I'm also a nutcase on stage. So like, if you don't like it or you don't get it, you're out. Like, it's polarizing. Like, I'm screaming on stage. Like, if you don't like, it's like Sam Kinison. Like, if you aren't a fan, like, you want to off yourself. Like, I'm not the cool, shy, dry girl. Like, I wish with everything in my being that I was like the cool, sort of like Kourtney Kardashian-ish, like dry humor. I'm just like Mary Beth Barone. Like, I wish I was that cool girl so badly, and I'm fucking not. I'm from Long Island. Yeah, I'm out of my mind. So like, I scream. And if I can tell in the beginning if they're going to be in or they're going to be out. And sometimes they're just going to be out. And so, like, I guess my worst show, like, recently, maybe like a month or maybe 2 months ago. It's my Saturday show in Queens. And it's a hit or miss crowd because it's 11 p.m. So sometimes it's lit. Sometimes there's 3 fucking people. This night, there were, like, literally 4 people. And I just got up there and I was already feeling silly because it was Halloween. That's what it was. And I had a costume on. I like put on a wig. And so I already felt like a fool. I'm dressed like a unicorn.
Yeah.
And then these people are like talking. And I'm like trying to, like, they're not heckling. He's just like talking to me. And I'm like, okay. But he's like not being like, we weren't on the same page. Like, he said something and then I said something, and it wasn't a good exchange. And then I was just like, okay, dude. I was like, well, I'm in a fucking uniform costume. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. Like, I'm making a fool out of myself. Like, do you really want to keep doing, like, do you want to keep talking? Because I'm dressed like a fucking unicorn. Like, one of us is punching down, and it's you. And he had an Irish accent. And so he said something back like, he goes, you look good. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
You look good, kid.
Yeah. So he was trying to be like nice, but he was so patronizing. Oh, you look good. No. Keep going. And I literally had this like, the werewolf in me came out. Like, I don't know if I was getting my period or what, but I was just like, what did you fucking say? I was like, did you just say I look good? Did you just give me permission to keep going. Like,
Right.
oh my God. And I saw his girlfriend, like the look in her eyes of just humiliation because she knew that was like a patronize, like, you know, woman to woman.
Yeah.
She was just like, oh God, like, I can't believe he just said that.
Right.
And I literally, it was the most bizarre thing I've ever done on stage. I knew that I was going to get too mad, so I couldn't keep talking. And I knew that I didn't want to do my jokes because it's fucking midnight. And I just put like this smile on. And I literally put on corporate Katie. I literally was just like, okay, guys, well, enjoy the rest of your weekend here. And there's some great restaurants over near 30th Ave. Yeah, that's going to be our show. Okay, have a great night, everyone. And I got off, and my host was like ran up to the stage, was like not prepared for me to go off. I probably did 3 or 4 minutes total. And I was like in the worst mood after. I was like being nasty to my host and my boyfriend because I thought that like I was getting so in my head and so paranoid. I thought they were making eyes about me. Do you know what I mean? Like I saw them connect and I was like, did you guys just make eyes about me? And they were like, no, like shut the and I was like, I literally was losing my mind. Truly was like so paranoid. And so since then I've been okay. That's the worst one in recent history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
the
building.
30s anxiety. Yep, it's happening.
It's building.
It's happening in real time. So yeah, like those are the really bad nights that I'm like, fuck. And it's usually like something where I'm like, I could have changed that. Like I could have kind of just been nicer or not had this like angry response in my chest. Like if I had just controlled my own opinion of him, I probably could have gotten out unscathed. Like it was totally my fault. I didn't handle it that well. But now I kind of have another case study of like, okay, here's how I feel when I'm mean back. Here's what I feel when I let them talk. Here's how I feel when, you know, whatever. So now I'm like, okay, it doesn't feel good to get off stage. Okay, next time I'm going to power through. Like,
right.
So it is just still
You could
learning.
heckle them back.
Right.
Are you allowed to do that?
Yeah, you can be an asshole. I just like knew that I was going to be too mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you just know, like, so
you know, when you know,
knew
you know
that my tongue was going to get sharp. You know, I was like, this could be like actually rude to this person.
Right.
Like, this might not be haha funny.
You might call him a fat bitch.
Right. Like, we could go a little bit Suffolk County on him.
Yeah.
Like, and we could.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What was
so
he
I
wearing?
called it like a normal fucking like guy out, like a normal thing. But one thing I did say, and this is how I knew I was getting to like the angry, is because I was like, he said something with his accent, and I said something about the potato famine. Yeah, I was just like, oh, like you're still mad about the fucking potato famine, like,
right.
Or I was like, I'm glad our ancestors left, like the fucking potato famine, like it just didn't make sense, and it like, I was like, I gotta get off of here,
Yeah.
like this isn't, I'm not winning here,
Yeah.
no matter how this goes, so.
You were ready to take down Ireland as a whole.
Yeah, yeah, but also that's because too, like most of the time when I'm on stage, even if I'm like not doing my best, usually I'm goofy enough that it doesn't matter because I'm such like a that usually like even if I don't do one good joke, I'm still getting some decent laughs. But that's not always a good thing because then I'll go weeks without writing a joke because I love to just like swing from vine to vine. Yeah, I'm just like, oh, let's talk to the audience. Like, let's just kind of like improv. And then I'll just kind of never like write things or like take it seriously.
Yeah.
So there are, you know, I guess it's not so much as the laughs as it is their faces.
Right.
You know, where, yeah, sometimes it's quiet because there's 10 people. Sometimes it's loud because there's 100 people. But really, it's like, what's going on here?
The smiles, the cackle.
Yeah, like I can
head
tell.
back.
And usually, even if I'm like doing well, if there's one person who's just got a sour face on, I really can't get past them.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, in a lot of like clips and stuff, you'll see people just like nailing one person because it's so annoying. It's just like, it's like having your parent look at you with like disappointment. You're
Disgust,
just like,
yeah.
what is it about me that you hate right now? Like,
right. Go to the bathroom.
yeah, exactly. Just fucking take a shit. Like,
Yeah.
or why did you come to a show? Like,
Right.
if you're not even gonna give me like a, like, you don't have to
Right.
laugh. Like, I'm not a big laugher at comedy shows because I go to so many that like I'm so desensitized. So but I put on a pleasant face, like
Yeah. Don't
I'm
look
happy to
angry.
be here. Yeah, because like I don't want to be an ass. So that's what really will drive me nuts. If I can tell someone hates me.
Yeah, that would annoy me too.
Yeah.
That would really, especially like with social media, you'll get so many negative comments because like even like I only have, I think 3,500 followers, and the comments we get now are like fucking insane already.
Right.
Already. So I can only imagine like people are just nasty haters.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Like, who are these people? Because, like, I don't know anyone who comments like that. And, like, everyone who I talk to, they're like, no, like, I don't know anyone. Like,
No.
I think a lot of them are bots, too. Like, I really do think there are more bots than we think. Because sometimes I'll get stuff that I'm like, this isn't a person. Like, I'll look at the profile and I'm like,
Yeah.
how in the fuck? Like,
It's
no.
the Indian villagers.
Right.
If you ever go on, like the biggest bots, they're all from over there. I don't know what they're doing, but they're
Right.
They're on the webs.
Something's, yeah. I don't know. Did you guys just see that movie that's out with Julia Roberts and
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke? Okay.
Did I?
Yeah. So you know.
Did you
what I'm
watch
fucking-
it?
I'm sorry I didn't watch
Holy
it. I watched 5
shit.
minutes of it and I couldn't get into it.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's fair, though. That's fair.
Leave
that
the
you
world
couldn't get-
behind.
Yes, that's what it is.
It's hard to in the beginning.
Yes. And also, in your defense, it's like kind of just not believable. Like the premise is just a little off.
It
Like-
throws you for a loop.
Right. You're just like, yeah. Some things just don't make sense.
I feel like it's like a need to watch
It kind of is.
By the end, were you not cursing?
I was cursing.
First
was
of all,
pissed.
I wanted to strangle that little kid, but then again, I was thinking, put myself. I'm doing the same thing as
Right.
the kid.
Right. It was on it. Also, my thing about it too is like it's Long Island. I wish they leaned into that a little bit more.
Same.
Because okay, you have Kevin Bacon who's like the doomsday prepper, which I felt like was fair, but I felt like with Long Island there are more doomsday preppers. Like it wouldn't be the case that there would
No.
be this one person,
Right.
And like that's it. Like
It also wouldn't be the case that he went to town and couldn't find anyone.
Right.
Because there's a lot of us that aren't leaving
right.
if something happens.
Even the Hamptons, like I'm putting them out in the boondocks, thinking, okay, we must be in the Hamptons or.
But then they say they're in the Hamptons, and then they show them looking through the woods, and they can see the city.
Right.
So they're not in the Hamptons.
Thank you.
Killed
Thank you.
me.
Thank you. That one
Killed me.
scene was disgusting. They should be embarrassed about it.
Yeah.
Because they're adults who make movies. They know exactly where the Hamptons are. They know exactly where fucking New York is. And they think all of us are dumb enough to have thought that was real.
Where they recorded was parts of Riverhead.
Really?
So it's like where they're saying that they are on the island, there's no way in hell. I don't give a fuck if you have a telescope. You're not going
Right.
through the woods in Southampton or I forget where the exact place they said they were and looking at the city that close to the bridge.
You wouldn't even see Connecticut from
No.
there. Like, or Northport. These idiots. That pissed me off so much.
Yeah, and the flamingos in the pool killed me. The whole movie
Right?
killed me.
Also, the guy who owns the house, how do you say his name? Mahershala Ali.
I don't know how to say it.
He was not old enough for the
No.
part.
Yeah.
Really not old enough. And I was listening to like a pop culture happy hour podcast thing, and they were saying, I guess Denzel either was supposed to be that role or people were talking about like him being in that role, and I'm like, that would have been so much better.
Yeah.
Like her dancing around with an older guy or them actually being the same age would have been so much more powerful.
Right.
You know, like that felt, I think it would have been more romantic because I just didn't get that connection between them two.
No. It was the randomest thing to throw into the movie.
Right.
Or even, like, I kind of understood the husband and the girl, like, smoking weed outside.
Yeah.
But once they turned to them, like, putting on the music, I just couldn't get down with it.
Right, because the dad and the kid was like, that's a normal thing that would happen anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I have never known anyone who's had a situation where they're dancing around with someone else's husband. Like, that just,
Doesn't make
or
sense.
that's not your husband. Yeah, that just was weird to me.
Yeah.
I would have rather them almost all be out there at the fire pit or something. Like,
Dancing.
yeah. Or doing something that, like, I don't know. That scene was
The
just a
whole
waste
message
for
of it
me.
was the girl was taken away from her tech, and then she realized her family doesn't even give a fuck about her. She takes off into the woods, and then before you know it, she's next door in the bunker.
Right.
That's the
That's the
kicker.
whole thing.
That's the kicker.
And I guess the kick, I really did like, so like I was mad at her the whole time for being like kind of a little shit. But that last scene of, I don't want to do a spoiler alert. Wait. Oh, wait, spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Skip 15 seconds if you don't want to hear that last scene
With the friends.
with friends.
She goes to the episode.
That
the
was a cool
release.
scene.
I would have went for like Gilmore Girls, but
Yeah.
good for her.
I thought also, though, that was an interesting move to choose Friends because it's not, I don't know, it's so problematic now. And it's like nostalgia. Everyone's like clearly pointing out the lack of diversity. So I thought it was interesting that they chose that. But I also was like, and sorry if I'm boring you with this because I can get into any topic for like hours. I also was like, maybe they are just trying to say that like, who cares about all these like, these nitpicks we have about these old shows and like all of their problems and whatever. But like at the end of the day, it's comfort.
Yeah.
Like no matter what the content of it is, like that song, the title sequence will just put you at ease. Like,
right.
So I was like, oh, maybe they chose that on purpose.
Unless they were really going deeper and they were touching on the mother's racial undertones.
Fuck.
That would be nuts.
Fuck. And like she's internalized the racism so much that the only media she likes is.
She's mirroring her mother.
Oh my God. Maybe they're smarter than us.
Even though I love comfort shows, I will literally, I'd take a bullet for people on the Vampire Diaries show. Like, I watch it so deeply that, like, I've watched it over and over again, like, 40 times. And I was just saying on another episode, like, these actors don't understand, like, if I met, like, some of these actors, I think, like, I would, like, cry.
Right.
And I don't have, like, fangirly moments for people. I'll treat them like normal people. But this specific show, if I met them, I was like I just watched it during, like, so many hard times in my life. I just put it on.
They have no idea, like, the parasocial relationships
like,
we have.
Oh, my God, the comfort that, like, they bring me. Their characters bring me, I guess.
Right. For me, it's, like, Gossip Girl I'll throw on as, like,
That's a good one.
That or Sex and the City.
I just rewatched it from the beginning, the old one. It made me want to fucking rip cigarettes the whole time.
Right? It hits.
Oh, my God.
It hits.
I literally was like, I'm going out and I'm buying a pack tonight.
Right?
Yeah.
Also, what were your thoughts watching back through, like, obviously not the new stuff.
Why did she not be with Aiden?
Yeah. That was their biggest. I mean, that was a huge...
Makes me sick.
I mean, they ruined, like, American women by doing that. Like, they literally taught us that...
To love Biggs.
Yes.
Yeah.
It gives me chills.
Yeah, it gives me chills.
Because it's so problematic.
Yeah.
Hey, ladies, go for your Aiden.
Yeah.
Go
if you're out there, go for your Aiden.
Yeah.
Biggs don't give a fuck about you. It's Nas till it's backwards.
And also, everyone has a big, like, in their life or has had a big, and that is a person that does not exist in their life for good reason. And we don't talk about those people. Like, they go to the grave with you. If they had let that be the real truth, like, I think it would have been an entirely different and better show.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Or am I just making that up?
Realistically, Carrie and him weren't compatible because he was so outdoorsy. I think that's really what it was. But regardless, he treated her better than any of the people she was ever with on the show.
That's so true. At the end of the day, they might have been a little not perfect for each other, but she would have gotten treated well.
So much better.
Yeah. God. And then just like that is like, I like watching it to be with them. Like, again, like the comfort aspect of it.
They're pushing on the woke shit a lot. I just started that because I literally just finished the old.
Yeah.
So I'm like in season 3 where like it's like his right after his funeral or whatever.
Okay.
And they're really like pushing. So it's so different.
The Che Diaz stuff was cracking me up with the comedy concert.
Yeah.
And like they forced, it wasn't even the woke stuff. It was like all the like the new age stuff.
Every single thing.
Like the forcing her
the
smoking.
Podcasting, the smoking.
The podcasting, the smoking at the funeral. Like in no world would anyone in 2023.
Miranda having to go back to college and she's in the black teacher's class.
Right. Like, and she's the alcoholic?
Yeah.
Like, come on. No, that's not the story. It would have been Carrie.
Yeah.
Carrie would have been the alcoholic. She's the writer. She's the fucking, her husband dies. It's not the one, you know what I mean? And then then they made a fucking, what's her name? I just saw the redhead, what's her name? Fucking Miranda. Her husband, they make him 85 years old. They make him so helpless. Yeah. he's probably fucking 60 in the show.
Mhm.
You know, like it was just inaccurate. And also he was like active and like a healthy guy who played basketball with his friends. Like he would not be the one to age poorly.
He owned
it would have
a
been
bar.
big. Yes. Right.
I mean, Big's dead.
Right. True. True. So he did age poorly, but they did him dirty on that edit.
They definitely did.
Yeah. He should be spry.
Don't give me any spoilers because I'm not past episode 3.
Okay.
But I'm gonna have to keep watching to see what goes on, because I'm a little hesitant now from what I've seen that if I even want to, because the old episodes were so good, but the old
Right.
episodes were 22 minutes, so you could watch them like taking a shit.
Right. And they were good because they weren't like, they were just so like light. Like I really miss pre-pandemic fucking TV. Like just shows that didn't have anything too fucking intense, just like a storyline that wrapped up in one episode
Mm-hmm.
and like that's it. Like those were beautiful times.
Yeah,
Now it's like you gotta understand.
you have to commit.
Yeah. You gotta know this guy's fucking TikTok following and his
Mhm.
mom to understand why he's playing the part of that and this.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, let's go back to the good old days. Sitcom.
You watch Marvelous Miss Maisel?
A little bit I did. I think I got to like season 3.
You didn't get into it.
No, but I think I could get into it.
You
I think I
have
just
to.
haven't given myself another chance to.
You're very similar to her.
Yeah.
You're very similar to her.
I need to. I was watching it pre me doing stand up. So
Oh,
I
you
think I
have
need to
watch it.
revisit it. Yeah.
She's gonna give you new bits.
yeah.
It's gonna inspire you. It inspired me. I was ready to get on a stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not even. You guys never watched
You
that show,
should,
right?
though.
Oh my God, it's out of control.
Well, actually, no. If you have the podcast, you don't need to do stand
This is my
up. Like,
this is my stand
enough.
up here. I'm doing it for the people on YouTube.
And honestly, this is better. Like, there's no reason to do stand up if it's like it's annoying.
Yeah, there's no hecklers other than them that
Right.
keep staring at me because I think we're over our minutes.
Yeah. Oh, are we? I'm such a space cadet that I could be here for 4 hours and not notice. You know, like I truly
Yeah.
like what? I'm that much. Okay. Okay. Let me stay green on my work.
Can you throw me a vape?
Hit it.
Okay. Yeah, Marvelous Miss Maisel. They followed this. I don't even know how we got into this, but I loved the show so much, and I just finished it like a month ago, and I was like, I have to bring this up because you're a female comic, and
Yeah.
it goes through like the trials and tribulations that she goes through and stuff, and I was just like, and it was filmed in New York. It's just amazing show, amazing show.
I love the costumes too.
Oh
like I
my
really should
God.
revisit it because I do need a new show, and I like watching stuff that I've already seen.
The final season, I will say, throws you for a loop. I'm not gonna give any spoilers.
Okay.
It throws you for a loop because they do a time jump, but I think because they stopped filming during COVID or something.
Okay.
Or something. There was an outbreak of some shit that's flying around, so they just were like, the time jump is a little wacky, but they tie it all back in the end.
Okay. Okay, I think this is what I need to do. I think this is my winter show.
This is your journey.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
my journey. I'm so glad I'm here because
Yeah.
now I'm going to be focused for January.
I know, and I have to come to one of your shows.
Yeah.
I want to come and watch.
Yeah, you should. I'll let you know when I'm on the island too.
Yeah.
Um,
Where do you usually do out here?
recently Governors, like, you know, the Levittown one, but sometimes I have stuff just like at bars and stuff. So
Yeah.
I'll let you know. Oh, a lot of time I'm in Long Beach. In the summer, I'm in Long Beach a lot. Because I don't know if you got, there's a place called Borelli's, and they do like a weekly comedy in the summer. So
nice.
sometimes I'm there, and I'll let you know if that starts up again next
Yeah.
year. I'm
I'll
gonna be on
definitely
it.
come.
Yeah.
So flip to her camera really quick and tell the people where they can follow you.
Okay. Should I look at this one or this one?
You're gonna look at that one.
The middle?
No,
This guy?
this guy.
Okay. Follow me on Instagram at Kit Reynolds and TikTok at Reformed Hot Girl, which is so cringe, but I got my TikTok banned and then I had to make a new name and it happened. So forgive me. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you so much for coming. I definitely want to have you back.
Yeah.
for the weekly. The weeklies are a little unhinged.
Is that where you have a group of people?
Yes.
Okay, because I was stalking you and I was like, okay, I don't know the difference. And I was listening on Spotify and I was like, I think this is you too. The rolling, the.
Burn After Rolling.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
I was
so
like, okay.
the guys, my boyfriend's podcast is Burn After Rolling. They usually are more hip hop, sports based.
Okay.
I'm more everything. Like I do true crime. I do all types of shit. But this is like more of like interviewee ish. But the weeklies are like when I'll have a panel of people and I'll come up with crazy topics. Like
I'm so down.
crazy shit. I'm actually gonna have Rory on
He's great.
this week. Yeah, he's funny.
You'll like him. He cracks me up.
I know him because my brother is good friends with him because they're both in like the electrical union. Is
Oh,
Rory
really?
in the union? Oh yeah, then yeah.
Yeah. Rory, he used to have shows at his house all the time. I don't know if he still does, but he has like this awesome apartment and he used to have like literally comedy shows in his living room.
Wow.
Yeah, he was killing it. Yeah. Dude, this was awesome.
Yeah, thank
Thanks
you so
for
much for
having me.
coming. Melissa, take us out of here.
Bye.